started. Who had memory lane right there? I know I did. I remember watching Bon Jovi in Anchorage, Alaska, all the way back when, gosh, what year was that? 1991. There we go. Boom. Didn't age myself at all there. And it was awesome. Bad Medicine? Are you kidding? Yeah. I came back home after going to this concert, and I was like to my parents, I saw the best concert ever, and one of the best songs was Bad Medicine. And my dad goes, so I got a question. The two songs that you've talked about that you really like, Every Rose Has Its Thorn, which that's the dumbest title I've ever heard of all time. This is from my dad. The second one was, what's the point of medicine if it's bad medicine? And I was like, well, you know, I give. So there we go. Hey, how's everybody doing? We doing awesome?
Great.
Doing thumbs up? All right. Hey, so let's start with gratitude, right? Gratitude success story. Who'd like to kick us off? Gratitude success. Jump on there. Jamie Goldman, take it away.
So this morning when we were on our coffee call, we were talking about how long we had been with the office. And when I went on to Facebook, you have the Facebook memories, and today is actually 5 years that I've been in real estate and 5 years with the office.
Oh, we love it. That's awesome. That is awesome. What a way to start the day. Fantastic. All right. And we love having you here, Jamie. So thank you, and thank you. Richard Reese, take it away.
Yeah, I'd like to show gratitude to Jim Brown for his help, and also to Renee for the MREA class. It's a great class.
Awesome. And Richard, I'm going to tag on to you a little bit later in the meeting, and you can tell us a little bit more about that, okay?
Sounds good.
That's fantastic. Great job, Jim and Renee. What's another one? I think we're on a good roll here today, and I got a lot of caffeine going or something. I know, I can tell. So sit back here. I'm like,
You got Ross.
all right, we got it. There we go, Holly.
I said Ross is wanting to answer.
Oh, perfect. Ross, take it away.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm really enjoying the Ignite Spark classes with Debbie. That's really pushing us out of our comfort zone, and it's fun.
Awesome. 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 That's fantastic. Let's do one more, and then we'll move into listings. One more. Gratitude success story. William's got one.
Hey, I hope you can hear me okay. I want to piggyback off something that Ross was just saying with Ignite, and just offer out there. I know when you go through Ignite, they start talking about listing packets, pre-listing packets, buyers packets, and stuff like that. And a couple agents have already kind of posted online. But if, you know, being on tech committee and ALC, if anybody wants to sit down and go over how to do that with command or how I do mine, I'd be more than happy. Send me an email and I'll Zoom you in and then show you how to access all that and kind of teach you some tricks as well.
Perfect. William, would you put your email and contact info in the chat? And then, because I know for sure that we have some of our KW execs who would take you up on that. When you're not driving, keep your hands at 10 and 2 right now.
Someone else put that in chat for me, please.
Awesome. All right, fantastic. Let's jump into some listings. So who's got a listing out there? Chris does. Chris, take it away. I'm all fired up today.
You're muted.
Chris, I think you might be muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Perfect. Yes, I have a listing that's going to go on, I think, in a few days here. 19009 East Saratoga Place in Aurora in Pride's Crossing. It's about 2,400 square feet for $435.
Awesome. Great price point. Good job, Chris. Good job.
Thank
All
you.
right, we got another upcoming listing. Upcoming listings. If I don't see you on the video, I can't tell.
We have one that's actually, I've talked about it before, but it is going live on Friday. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo, and it is 1,056 square feet at Windmill Creek. Right, you can walk to Broncos training camp.
Cool.
It's a nice complex right by Dove Valley, and lots of goodies that come with it. And it's, you know, they've got workout facilities, pool, all of that stuff, park, play area for kids if you got kids. So it's a nice place. And so if you got anybody interested, it'll be on for, I think, $260.
What was that price again, Holly?
$260.
260 or 660?
$260.
Awesome. So we just had a $400,000 incredible price drop for this listing. So let's get some folks in there for take it and make it run. Awesome. Who's got another one? Bud Doyle.
Okay. Hope you can hear me. I've got a couple. First one is 9812 Sydney Lane in the heart of Highlands Ranch. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, about 1,500 square feet. We're going to list at $435. It's coming soon. It was in the MLS this morning. It'll go live tomorrow morning. I think at this point we're the only 4-bedroom in Highlands Ranch priced under $445. So expect quite a lot of activity on it. Second one is coming live next Thursday, 6915 Welford Place in Castle Pines North. 4-bedroom, 4-bath, about 31, almost 3,200 finished square feet. About a 5-minute walk to American Academy, kind of off of Monarch in sort of the Castle Pines North area. And we're going to list at $645 on that one.
Perfect. Awesome. Great job, Bud. Fantastic. All right, another one. Who's got another upcoming listing?
Leslie does.
Leslie, awesome.
Hi, I have an active listing right now in, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Townhome off of Otero and University. It's listed at $299. So for your buyers under 3, it's a great property, 2-bedroom condo. And then I've got a investment property in Fort Collins. It's going to come live July 1st. It is at Stewart and Overland in Fort Collins, and it needs some fixing, so it's priced right, and the comps in the area are around 400. So this is going to be listed at probably 350. So there's money to be made there if you have an investor looking in Fort Collins. And I think that's it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Great job.
Oh, and I'm under contract on my house in the Hearth. Yay! Yeah.
Nice. Great job, Leslie.
Woo-hoo.
All right. Other upcoming listings.
I have one that just listed.
Perfect, Dwayne.
Okay, it's on Malta Way in Centennial, Smoky Hill and Piccadilly, basically. So out by Southlands, more or less. It needs some work. We're not listed top dollar, of course. We're listed at very competitive $435. It is 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, but 2 of the bedrooms are in the basement, non-conforming, but great light. If it's a VA, the VA may not approve the bedrooms in the basement, but the whole house, it's not like a lister's dream for sure, but it can, with some good TLC, it can be an amazing house, and I'd say be worth about $470 if somebody does some good work to it. But just listed yesterday, I had 7 showings, trying to get feedback, and 4 showings today. So it should go pop pretty quick.
What's that price point again, Dwayne?
$435.
$435. Awesome. So with a little bit of work, they to have an instant equity position.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah. They did some good upgrades here and there in the house, and they're still doing them. He's continuing to update things. The yard definitely needs some water. The backyard needs some water. They have chickens. All I need is Mr. Green Jeans to come out from the backyard, and we're good.
There we go. That's awesome.
But yeah, bring it. Bring a buyer.
All right, bring a buyer. With that, let's get us into price improvements. So who's got a price improvement? Motivated seller time. Price improvements going again. 1,000, 2,000, 3 1,000. All right, let's go into buyer needs. Who's got some buyer needs?
I've got buyer needs if you can hear me.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 3-car garage ranch up to 550, but they're looking north of town around Firestone and Frederick. Cannot face north. Also looking for a ranch, 3+ beds, 3-car garage, up to 650, Parker and South. So Parker, Elizabeth, Franktown, on the east side of 25, but Parker and South.
Awesome. What price points?
The one up north up to 550, the one south up to 650.
Okay, fantastic. All righty. Let's see what we can do to match that up. Other buyer needs. Thank you, William.
Patrick, I've got a bunch.
Awesome, bud. Take it away.
Okay, and these are all immediate. So if anybody's got anything, these are ready, willing, and able buyers. First one is Lakewood and Littleton, single family house up to 430. Second one is Littleton, Highlands Ranch, Parker, Castle Rock up to 400. Third single family house. Third one is single family house in Highlands Ranch up to 530. Fourth one is Castle Pines North up to 775. Fifth one is Lone Tree and Highlands Ranch, either Lone Tree Heritage Estates or Backcountry or so, up to 1.3. And the last one is Strasburg and Bennett up to 525.
Well done, Bud Doyle.
Put them all in the chat so we can send it out.
Yep, pop all those bad boys in the chat and we'll shoot them on out. Great job. Other buyer needs.
Jackie, are you?
Yes, I'm here now.
Becky, I heard you have some news and
Yes.
potentially a listing that you'd like to chat about. Let's go back to listings for one moment, because when Jackie finishes, we're all going to give her a super virtual high five and round of applause. So take it away, Jackie.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I got my listing agreement signed last night for my Hilltop house. It's gonna be 2.85 million, and we're trying to go live as soon as possible. They just took it out the contingency of they buying another house, so they are ready to sell. It's 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. They have a full bar in the basement, theater, everything. The house is amazing. And yeah, that's my listing. And they also are a buyer. They are looking for a house to buy right now through Hilltop to Greenwood Village at 2.4 max.
Yay, Jackie!
Give her a high five, right? Give her a high five. Great job.
Thank you.
My numbers are correct. That's 4.9 million in volume.
Yes.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. That's fun.
Where did you get the client, Jackie?
On nail salon.
Wow. Awesome.
Even better, right?
Yes.
The secret nail salon.
It's a secret one, exactly.
Right.
I might go to that nail salon. I don't even know what I do there, but I'd go there. Awesome. Great job. That's fantastic. All right, let's keep on moving. And we're gonna start having some fun, Debbie Connor. Good. So you jump up with me and let's start talking about some awards, because we have some top producers that knocked it out of the park. We have some cappers that are now at 100%. So we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna hand you this and then you get to announce it.
Oh, at least I don't have to guess. Oh, Rhonda Richardson, 100% of your commission. Woohoo!
Boom, 100% club. Next one. Ooh, this is a fun one too. All these are fun.
Oh, this is still Rhonda.
Oh, nope, it's not. Just joking. See, she thought I was going to make this easy, right?
Oh, they look so much alike. Cindy Carfree.
Boom, Cindy.
Way to go, girl.
Well done.
And Wendy Fisher, where's Wendy? Is she up there?
I don't see her yet. So when you see
Somebody
Wendy,
should
give her a
honor
high
her.
five. Absolutely. Let's start talking about top individuals here and have some fun with that. So we'll start with number 3. Top individual number 3.
Kathy Lou, number 3. That is not a bad place to be for May 2020. Closed volume, 840,000 in sales volume, 2 units. Awesome.
Do you mean to rhyme, or is that you're just rhyming all the time?
I'm rhyming all the time. I'll start rapping in a minute. Now.
Debbie Connor rapping, everyone. Click record.
Right? Where's my hat? Wendy Fisher is number 2 for May. Closed volume, $1,103,150 in sales volume of 2 closed units. Way to go, Wendy. Awesome.
Woo! Nice job. And number 1.
Oh, who wants to guess?
What was that?
Who wants to guess?
Who wants to guess? Number 1 individual in the month of May.
Bud. I'm saying Bud.
Sam Bud, all right.
Not Bud. Another guess.
William Kretzler.
William.
I'll guess.
Yes.
Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown. Woo!
3 closed units for a volume of $94,950. Woo! Mic drop. Awesome job.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
He's got more coming.
We do. I got more coming too. Let's jump into teams. Ba-boom, number 3.
Oh, number 3, the Right Price Group, Zach Zaleski and clan at $1,052,694 in sales volume, closed 3 units. So awesome job.
Number 2.
Number 2,
What you gonna do?
Arvella Home Partnership closed $1,846,999 with 4 closed units.
All right, number 1. I'm gonna drum roll this because this team knocked it out of the park.
Ooh, that's
Should we
a good place to
ask
go.
and see who
Who do you think it is?
which team? Who do you think took the number 1 spot and just crushed it?
They're perplexed. They have no idea.
They don't. So I'm gonna start the drum roll.
Oh, nice. One Home Colorado, Steve Nickerson's group, and they closed $3,335,400 in sales volume and closed 7 units. Way too good.
I thought the market was dead.
Obviously, it's not.
Wow, not in this house.
There's a few billion, gazillion dollars right there says otherwise.
So we have one more award. And what would that next award be? It has a bat.
I know, and we don't have a bat up here.
I think
So-
it's because I was getting chased around by it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right, so heavy
6 feet
hitters.
apart.
Heavy Hitters Award.
Heavy hitter. And what is a heavy hitter?
What is it, guys? Most what?
Listings.
Most listings taken in the month.
This, which is so cool, is the first time that this individual has won this award.
Ooh.
And who wants to guess who it is? Let's go with that real quick. Who's the heavy hitter? I can see Renee thinking. Heavy hitter award.
Individual. you said.
Individual.
There's a clue. Not a team.
William.
Not William.
Not William.
All right, I can't take it anymore. It's Lori Stossel. Lori Stossel took the most listings in the month of May out of everyone, which is amazing.
How many did she take?
I think she took like 332. I don't know if she ever slept.
32. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sleeping's over.
No, she knocked it out of the park. So when you see Lori, give her a big high five, even if it's a virtual one. And
Put one on her door.
right?
Yeah.
So let's have some fun. And first of all, well done, everyone. I mean, you're creating the market, which is absolutely amazing, right? So keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is working. Let's dive into something here. So I thought, Deb, I was thinking, and I was like, one of the things I love about our office here in End each one of us is we're winners, right? I mean, we are winners. We go out there, we take territory, we win. And I think it's amazing. And even when we have all different kinds of challenges coming from different areas, we're still winning, right? And there's so many different layers to that. So when we start looking at this, I decided that I was going to nickname Coaching Corner to Winning Wednesday, because we're winning, right?
And that's not even rhyming.
I wasn't even rhyming on that one. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get interactive. We're going to have engagement. We're going to do this. So if you're on, don't have your video on, click your video on. If you're on mute, jump off of mute, because we're going to dive into this. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to do a little scripting and role playing, and maybe even some objection handling. Dun, 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 dun. All right, who's ready to do the crazy dance with me? We're going to jump in. We're going to talk about listings. How do you go from a listing appointment to a listing taken? How do you do that from objections, right? So when you're walking into a listing appointment and you're talking with the sellers, what are some different objections you're hearing right now? And let's write these bad boys down. So again, this is engagement time. What are we hearing?
So Patrick, I believe the prices of homes in Denver is flattening, if not declining. So I don't want to list right now.
Ooh, prices going down, flattening,
Yes, sir.
and not declining. Love it. Love it, love it, Mark. That's a great one. All right, what's another one? What are you hearing?
Patrick, I heard I'm afraid.
Ooh. Ooh, that's okay. I'm afraid. Chris, that's awesome. All right, what's another one?
Nobody's doing anything in this market now because of
Ooh,
COVID.
Jim, that's great. Nobody is doing anything in this market.
Why are you guys saying that? Tell me.
No, that's what people are saying to us.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
my last five offers, I've dealt with 5 or 6 contracts on each one.
so Dwayne, what are you hearing in listing appointments?
They're asking me, it's like, it's time to list. Everything's still going up. I expect it to go up for the next 14 months. It's not gonna, people are out and about and they're all looking. Look at I have people, when I schedule showings, there's like, you've got a half-hour time slot, if not 15 minutes, because the people are in there and they're jammed in there.
Okay, awesome. So what would be objections you're hearing?
There's too many buyers submitting offers.
Okay.
Against my buyers. I lost one last night because I didn't lie and say I'm putting 30% down. I was head-to-head at 580, and my opponent beat me because we were 5% down and they were 20% down. I should have lied. I should have just said 30% down. I mean,
well, I think integrity speaks a lot, but let's stay on objection handling, right? So, all right, let's go with this. What other objections are you hearing?
Too much uncertainty in the future.
Too much uncertainty. Love it. Okay. What's one more? And then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. What's one more? What else are you hearing out there?
Lost my job.
Ooh, Renee, that is a very real one, isn't it? Absolutely. Lost my job. Okay. So here's 6 objections that are real objections, right? So let's get real about this and work through this as a group. So first one, prices are declining or they're flattening. Why would I want to list? What are some of your responses to that?
Well, prices aren't declining. Prices are steady or going up. There's no inventory, and it's supply and demand. There's no question. Prices are solid.
Okay, well done, Jim Brown. So bringing in supply and demand in that. Awesome. Bud Doyle.
You had told me when we had sat down that you really wanted a larger house for your family or so. It seems like you might be outgrowing that one. Is that still the case? I mean, motivation to me is the number one thing in this market, and you got to keep, at least I find I keep kind of going back to motivation, because motivated people act, and sometimes I think it gets lost in the weeds, but for people that really need to sell a house, they act.
Perfect. So, Bud, if I'm hearing you correctly, you go back to that initial motivation and then ask the question, right? That's awesome. So you're following a question with a question, which causes them to think, which that's great. And Jim, that was great as well. What's another one? Let's stay on this. Prices are dropping. They're flattening. The market, the sky is falling.
Show them some stats.
Okay, but what stats, Holly?
I would show the stats, I mean, our weekly stats that show how many houses have come on the market, how many have gone under contract, and how many, and say, so what would this, let them lead them to the answer. So if there's, if there's this many listings coming on and this many going under contract and this many closing, what do you think that tells you about what's going on? And they're going to say that there's not enough listings, that there's obviously buyers out there, not enough listings. And then you could say, and what is that, what do you think that does to home prices?
Mm-hmm.
And lead them down that path.
Perfect. So you're taking the statistics that are going on in the market right now and then circling it back with a question.
Correct.
Awesome. 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 So we talked supply and demand. We've gone to big Y. We're talking stats. What's another one? What's another response?
Feel free to correct me if I'm way off base, but what about if they think that the prices are dropping, then get out now, rent until the market stabilizes, until they think the market's stabilized somewhat, and then buy back in at a lower price.
So what you're saying then, Ross, is they could have the opportunity to still sell their home and then
while
go,
the market's still high, and then possibly rent for a while until the market's bottomed out, or if it has dropped, and then they can buy back in. Okay. I don't know.
That's great. So you're coming
new guy
in with
here,
strategy.
just throwing something out.
Yeah, you're on the right track. That's great. That's great. Okay, awesome. Is this valuable, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure, because if it's not, tell me, right? So let's go into this next one, right? That was our first one. We had 4 different responses, which I thought were all things we can plug in. Now, the second one, which I think is fantastic, because think of that, how powerful this is. I'm afraid. How do you respond back to that?
What makes you afraid?
Okay, fantastic. So we're going
to define it.
Yeah, you 100% need to ask questions around that. Don't just jump in. What specifically are you afraid of? Are you afraid of loans? Are you afraid of losing your job? Are you afraid you're not going to be able to get a house? I mean, there's a million things they could be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm afraid of people coming in my house that are carrying the virus, and I just don't think I want to put the house on the market right now.
Right. And that's a true fear, right? I mean, all of this is.
Okay, so role play it. Go.
All right.
Somebody come back and.
Well, we have ways to work around that. One of those is that we can do a Matterport 3D virtual tour of your home and put that in the MLS so that we can minimize the number of people that are coming through and, ask for pre-approvals and all kinds of things ahead of time. And, if you absolutely can't have someone going through the home, we can do it through virtual. And the other way is that we just make sure that the agents that are coming through are truly following the rules and everybody's wearing a mask, and we're going to, make sure they're wiping down. There's ways, there's ways for us to control that.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good.
So
Okay. So
this goes back to what Bud was saying. When there's an emotional response that they're not going to take action, then you have to think pain versus pleasure. And so that goes back to what Bud was saying about motivation. So is the cost of you being afraid worth you not putting your house on the market because you want to move to wherever it is, or bigger space, or the fear of the unknown of what could happen in the future? You just focus on today, what we know to be true, like Holly said, stats, 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 and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So what do you want to do? And then you make them answer it. We always say in coaching, telling is not selling. You don't want to tell. We want to bring them back. And especially an emotional objection, that's an easy one, because you're in the house or you're on the phone. You got the appointment. You should be able to get the agreement.
Love that. Love that. And you said something, Renee, that I hope everyone internalized and wrote down. And it was, is the cost of you being afraid, right? Is the cost of you being afraid worth not selling your home? Worth putting your dreams on hold? Worth all these pieces to your family and the promises that you made as a family together? Is the cost of being afraid worth that?
Patrick? So this was my guy, and we had a lot of all that going on, but his biggest fear is he lost his wife 8 months ago, and it's, you know, that emotional connection with the house and his wife. So
becomes very real, doesn't it? Yeah.
Why is he selling?
His motivation is that he wants to move up north and retire soon, and it be in a maintenance-free home, and be the out of doors. So, but he's kind of going back and forth with that struggle of, you know, I think just the whole process of moving, going through everything, going through the possessions, that, you know, he would also say, gosh, maybe it would just be easier for me to stay. So I had to really, I mean, I got him to sign everything, but I had to really do the pain versus pleasure the whole 3 hours. So yeah, but I'm worried that he's going to backlag.
So one of the things, and thank you for bringing that up, Chris, because this is a very real conversation, right? When we ask the right questions, and when we ask deep questions, not snorkeling, scuba diving, the conversation becomes incredible and life-changing for them and for us. So in coaching, one of the things we talk about is a 1-3-5, right? What are our goals in 1 year, 3 year, 5 year? Have we taken our clients through that same path? So Mr. Seller, I know that from what you were saying, to be up north, and these are the reasons why within the next year, is that correct? How is that gonna make you feel? What new opportunities is that going to create? Now fast forward, Mr. Seller, what would be absolutely amazing for you in 3 years, right? You can take them through that same path that we use with coaching, and now you're creating, and have them write it down, right? If I write it down, it belongs to me. If they write it down, and I'm coaching them around this, because that's one of the things we're doing is coaching with our clients, right? So, and it's a relationship. They write it down, it now belongs to them. And most people, no matter what, you know, just taking the economy as a whole, do not give up on their own goals. They don't. They have to be reminded of what those goals are and why that's so incredibly important to them. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, Chris, you said something that you kind of said it as a side thing, and just know you are going to have to re-talk him into listing many times through this process. The best thing is you being preemptive. You know what he's going to do, and it's like, how are you today in today's. And then you got to bring him back to the vision, get him in houses as soon as possible, like get him looking at the new build or whatever the patio home community is, so he can focus on that. And you've got to bring him back to that vision, and he can take memories and stuff and pictures, and you're going to be empathetic and sympathetic and loving and your sweet self to him the whole time, and hold his hand and his partner. And that's what you're going to do. And that's why he picked you. And it is going to be an emotional roller coaster, because it is. I can see Leslie going like this. She's literally, you know. So.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Renee. That's awesome.
Looking at other property is a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, get him on the horse. Get him at, it's in Top Gun. Get him back in that plane.
Right, exactly. Awesome, I love it. All right, next question. Nobody is doing anything in this market. How do you respond? Bud Doyle, go for it.
So it sounds like you're saying that nobody's doing anything in the market, huh, Patrick?
Right, yeah, nobody's doing anything in the market.
But, you
know, so I don't want to list, Bud.
Yeah, food for thought. So your price point's about $450 or so is kind of what we talked about. I'll tell you that I personally had a client that was looking at a house, $450, kind of in the South Metro area, right on the border of Denver and Centennial. As it turns out, there was about 75 showings, and we were one of 16 offers on the house, and we put a really strong offer. Unfortunately, we did not get it. So I guess my question to you is, there were 15 people that lost out on that house. You don't live too far from that neck of the woods. There were actually 75 people that looked at it. Does that maybe change your opinion or your thoughts as to, you know, saying that you don't think that anybody's out there doing anything? I'm just curious.
I love that. Here's some reasons why. Bud, you went very specific. You went to location, the amount of showings, the price point, and you went into alignment with that house, right? With the listing. Here was the other piece. Bud didn't go into judgmental and say, well, I don't understand. What are you talking about? Like, well, the market's still moving. Like, of course the market's moving, right? He said nothing about that at all. He went straight facts and then rolled it into a question. That was awesome. Well done. Well done. All right, so we're going to go on to the next one. There's two, and I have something to put on here, right? Before I jump, know your numbers. Know your numbers. And if you need help within your numbers, come see leadership and know the market center numbers. We're in this as a team together. You're not on your own. Okay, so take that. You can have two stories going on there, your personal business and the brokerage business, and tie them together. Again, it's going straight facts. So the next one is, I don't want to, maybe I'm going to say this wrong, but I don't want to list. There's just too many buyers out there. There's too many, or I don't want to buy right now because there's too many buyers, right? How do you respond back to that?
Isn't that a good thing?
Well, let's dive deeper, right? Like, I don't know. To me, my perception says I don't want to list or I don't want to buy because it won't get that house. There's too much competition.
Okay, I see from that side.
It goes back to motivation.
Here we go, right? Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, how bad do you want it? You know, again, review your goals, remind them of their goals, and go from there. You know, this is what you said you wanted to do. You know, are you still there? And again, ask the questions and just, you know, keep going.
Renee, you said something that tying back in on fear and being afraid, right? And is the cost of being afraid, that there's too much competition out there to keep you from having your dreams and your family dreams? Are you willing to pass up that home, that property, that could take, do the 5-year goals that we have? Are you willing to pass that up because your perception is that there's too much competition? See how these all kind of tie together? And I think I butchered that, Renee, but that was, where we were going with that one. All right, so the next one.
Can I
Yes,
pipe in
please.
here real quick? On actually the last one, what we did, I was just thinking about it. I think what we're talking about here are not necessarily the people that are motivated. We're talking about the people that we're having to overcome objections to. So if it's that easy, we wouldn't be talking about it right now. You know what I mean? And so it's probably the skeptic that, like Bud was talking about before, and I had this situation and there were 16 offers, but that's just some realtor talking, and I don't know that I believe it. This is the objection from the skeptic, that we're having to come in and overcome these objections. And something, I can't even believe I'm about to say this. I really can't. It's the craziest thing, which is I am using Zillow as an objection handler, because you can see on Zillow how many views and how many saves there are on properties. And if you go in prepared, knowing that somebody is, right on the edge of pulling the trigger, then show them, they're saying nothing's happening. And you're going, there are a lot of people that are out there looking, and there are a lot of people that are about to pull the trigger or have, just look at these numbers. The other thing that we haven't talked about is the combination of supply and demand and the interest rate being as low as it is. So that's great for a seller. It's great for the buyer, and it gives proof that the volatility of the world keeps the interest rate down, and just knowing the economics of all of that, it is a fact. And you don't have to talk about how many listings came on and how many under contracts there were. The whole thing scares a buyer. So in that respect, where Chris was just saying, if we're talking about on the flip side that the buyer is saying that they're afraid, it goes back to, I gotcha. If you want this, what I am going to say to you, and I'm going to be honest, is we are going to have to set you up fantastically on paper, be prepared, and we're going to have to put up our dukes and fight a little bit. So not everything that you walk into are you going to love or are you going to get? And we're going to have a game plan. We're going to walk into 5 today and we're going to rank those. And if we don't get number 1, then we'll go to number 2. And if we don't get and there could be some that you just push out because they don't work for you. You've already seen 50 properties online.
So Renee, question for the group then, right? There's too much uncertainty in the future. How do you respond back to that? There's too much uncertainty in the future.
Want me to answer it?
Let's let everyone jump in.
Let them.
I will.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm just thinking, like somebody said earlier, let's talk about what's going on right now. What do we know today? And we know today the rates are really low. We know there's a lot of people that need homes, and we know, like Renee said, get your ducks in a row, look awesome on paper, and we'll just do the best we can. But right now is what we need to be concerned about. We can't put our thoughts into the future because we really don't know what's going to happen down the road.
Perfect. So gang, here's my question. I lost my job. How do you respond back to that?
One response is always go to the next one.
Go to the next job, go to the next person.
No, go to the next person. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. What's another one?
I would say, what is your job? What is your specialty? How can I help you? Who are the people? Who do I need to know to connect you to? That's where you go, guys.
Beautiful, Cindy. That was awesome. Jackie.
I was going to say that he still needs a place to live. He's gonna waste his money with rent, or you don't say with that words. Be more careful what you say. But he's gonna need. Everybody needs a place to live. If he's not gonna buy, he's gonna need a place. He's gonna rent anyway, right? And mortgage and rent right now is the same, or sometimes even less.
Well, but he can't qualify for a mortgage if he doesn't have a job.
That's true. That's true.
But this, I think we were talking on the sales side. Was that right? Or did it matter, Patrick?
Well, how are you going to respond back to it? Because I think it's a layered response.
Well, I think I think you need I think there's clarifying questions. If they just say, I just lost my job, say, be sympathetic, and then say, so, do you have a plan in place to find a different job? Are you looking, and also approach it like Cindy says, but you cannot be a job finder, because you'll be spending all your time doing that.
Perfect.
So I think, so you kind of ask some clarifying questions, because maybe they're not going to have problems finding a job. And maybe they'll be able to just jump right in.
Awesome. William, I see you are, how do you
Yeah.
respond?
Yourself.
I just did this. I just went through this a couple months ago, actually right before COVID, with somebody. And what their scenario was is they weren't working. They had potential to work in the future. However, they still needed to sell. So again, you always start with those clarifying questions to figure out how can you help. And if ultimately it comes down to they need a place to live, they still need to sell. So I helped her sell. She took that equity and she paid for a year in advance on a really nice rental that she's in right now, and now work's picking back up. She's got the rest of the equity she just put into savings because she has the willpower not to touch it. And here in a few months, we're going to start going out again. But she was able to do that. So you just need to know their situation. Maybe when they lose their job financially, they need to sell still to take that equity and survive somewhere else, whether it's a fresh start or survive locally and pay up front for a long-term, a 1-year lease or something, and then give them time to figure out the next steps. But figure out what they need to help and just be ready to have options.
Love it. Love it. Love it. That's awesome. Here's something just food for thought. Would they be interested in becoming a realtor? And you could have profit sharing coming from this by asking that question. Right? If someone is in corporate sales, or there's something like that, or you think they could have potential, they could be the next Ben Kenny. They could be the next rock star that comes in, and you're the one who gave them the direction on that, and potentially could have sponsorship out of that. How cool would that be? Now you're growing the passive income on the other side. So now the key around this is, which I think is awesome with all of these questions, is questions and questions and questions, right? How deep can we go? Think of that analogy again, snorkeling versus scuba diving. We're going scuba diving, especially with questions like this. So I want to leave you with 2 frames of thought. The difference between professionals and amateurs is the amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. If you watch the Jordan clip that happened, I think it was a couple weeks ago, why was he practicing so much? Why did he spend so many hours on the court, right? When you look at all top achievers across every industry, they're practicing so they never, ever can't get it wrong. It's internalized. So as an action item, reach out to each other and build some accountability and some scripting and role playing, because all of this is awesome. So going forward here, and I know we have a few minutes left and we'll go pretty quick. So tomorrow we have MREA, right? And tomorrow at MREA, and correct me if I'm wrong, Renee, we're going to be talking about receive $1 million and net $1 million.
Among other things, yes.
Among other things, right? So Richard Reese, you're on call. I see you, my friend, right next to me on the board. Tell me why you were in MREA and what did you learn in 60 seconds?
MREA, as a coincidence, I just finished reading it a few days before class started. And I enjoy the class because I just went through the book. We're hitting the topics of the book, the 80-20 rule, the statistics we should know for each client we have. And it's good to get, everybody's feedback, I guess, particularly Renee's. And yeah, it just, like I say, you can go so much deeper there, and that's what we're doing.
So tie into that so much deeper. What do you mean, Richard?
Well, I don't know. I guess let's look at like the 80-20 rule. Okay. And we look at that and then it's like, okay, you want to work with the 20, but how do you work with the 20? And kind of where do you go? And kind of Renee will say how she works her 20. And then it would just go from there, more than the book, put real, I mean, the book is real, but I guess I guess a deeper dive, I guess would be the term.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jim Brown,
Yeah.
you were in MREA. What do you have to say about it?
The book is truly the guideline to making it in real estate. That there's no doubt about that. And Renee is an amazing teacher. She does a great job with it. So it's been a lot of fun to be in her classes. But yeah, it's I mean, if you're looking for a roadmap, MREA is the roadmap for sure.
Love it. Love it. So for all of us on the call, I have a challenge. How many of us are willing to commit to being an MREA tomorrow? And it's recorded, guys. There we go. Let me see some hands. Come on, live crazy. I know Renee will be there, right? How many of us? There's my challenge. Because at the end of the day, when you look at command, when you look at every single pillar that we have in our industry going on, the technology, all those pieces, guess what? It all circles around the 4 models of real estate, and that's why they're foundational models. It's why other companies that have zero affiliation with KW buy the books, hand them out to their agents, and try, and I mean try, to coach them around this. Take advantage of what we have right in front of you, because you can take it and run. And Renee, is it too late to jump in?
It's really not. Then we're going to have 2 more sessions. That is this Thursday and next Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're really, really getting deep into what we did this last, and there was a lot of homework for this Thursday. Lead generation model, very specific to each person and what their sources of business are, scripts around how to deal with that, how to get your business better off the ground going forward months into the future. I wish Richard would have talked about a very specific lead generation concept that we talked about, because it is going to make him money immediately because of what his situation is. We're going to talk budget model, and then we're getting very, very deep into the organizational model. So if you are thinking about hiring anybody in the next 3, 6, 12 months, come on the call and we'll do some recap. We do a lot of, recapping, and I'll give you the outline and you can go back and read the snippets that we're really diving deep. It's not, like Richard said, a book that you read all the way through and you do, and then you go back and you use it as a resource. And that is the intention of this book club and this series. So it's tomorrow and Tuesday, and we'll do a tiny bit on Thursday, the 25th, but really the next two are pretty big if anybody wants to pop into it.
Awesome. So jump into there. And I would say in the hiring process too, that also includes if we're looking for leverage through showing assistance, which has been a huge conversation the last 2 weeks. So take advantage of that. Second thing, I see Shannon, do I got you on here? Shannon Duncan.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, quick question for you. Could you tell us a little bit about Beyond COVID?
Yeah, we started that last week, and I know we got another session coming up at 1 today, and last week we actually spent a lot of time on how everybody was doing personally, and I think we're diving into business this week, and it took a lot out of it, just as far as kind of where everybody's mindset is and schedule and routine, and how we're all coming back into what our new reality and our new normal is.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So what would be one action item that you took away, Shannon, from Beyond COVID last week?
Well, for me personally, I was actually able to go find a new gym.
There you go.
Yeah, because we had talked about, some of the gyms not reopening. So, had to go find a new place. So that was definitely a step I was able to take.
Awesome. So today, 1 to 2 o'clock, we're going to jump into business, which is going to be around models, systems, and strategies. And oh, by the way, we may tie in some of these 4 models of real estate, because right now more than ever, it's knowing your foundations and knowing your numbers. So join me and join Shannon and a group of us here at 1 o'clock. And out of that, what were some ahas? We have 3 minutes left. Ahas takeaways from this meeting. Let's go. Ahas takeaways. I can do Jeopardy.
Real estate is still selling.
Yes, Holly. Beautiful. Yes, it is. What's another one?
I think whether it's for ourselves or for our clients, to keep ourselves moving forward, both, with our emotions and just, our thoughts and our actions.
Awesome, Chris. All right, who's going to wrap us up? Throw the bow on it. Don't be shy.
Reinforcement of your selling skills is key, like we just did today.
Beautiful. Mic dropped. You guys have an amazing, amazing week. Join us for these classes. Can't wait to hug all of you, and come by the office when we're open. Say hi. We miss all of you. And Jamie, you take care in Florida and keep us posted, okay, lady? All right, guys. We love you. Take care. Have an awesome, awesome week.